Hi guys, welcome to Drew Code Sports Talk. We are reeling and dealing right now. I am your host, Seager, right over here to my right, your left. It's my co-host, Cody Johnson. Cody, we get to talk about baseball.
Yes,
I love it. Let's go. Alright guys, the topic that I hate to talk about is the Los Angeles Dodgers, but good news for me is Corey Seager is out for the year! Ha ha ha!
That's not nice.
It is, no, it's not nice, but you know what, I don't care. The Giants are, they beat them again?
Yep.
I love it. I'm all ecstatic. Okay, but in all seriousness, this is actually a serious injury.
Yeah, let's...
He's out for the year.
We wish him well. Can we say that at least?
No, I won't do that. No.
Damn, this rivalry is real.
This is bad. Okay. He's got a UCL sprain, and will have Tommy John surgery, which is, you know, it's not entirely rare to see a position player get that, but it's not as common as you would think.
Right.
Tommy John surgery you mostly see with pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really serious. You don't know how the position player is really going to handle this.
Mm-hmm.
So what does this mean for the Dodgers?
Honestly, so from my perspective, I feel really bad for this young kid. Having Tommy John surgery and being an infielder is really difficult because pitching, of course, you're going to use your pitching elbow a lot. So, and that's sometimes one of the hardest injuries to come back from. But being an infielder, hopefully he can make a quick recovery. It's going to be interesting to see when he makes the infield throws, especially if he has to go sidearm or depending on the angles of the throw. So hopefully his elbow can hold up for the long term. But, you know, you're going to want to lean on your veteranship with Chase Utley. You're going to want to maybe start leaning on Taylor to pick up some of the slack, considering he can do outfield and second base. You definitely need Yasiel Puig to start stepping up, especially when he comes back from the 10-day. Dodgers right now, I think, will be fine for the rest of the season because you had them as your NL favorites coming out. They were one of my runner-ups coming in, and they have a lot of depth. You know, their pitching has been a little shaky, but I think they'll round out. They have a ton of talent. They'll pull it together, and I think they'll call up some prospects when that comes, especially in the pitching category. So I think they'll be okay. But you know, it's definitely, when it comes to second base and shortstop, you definitely want to make sure you have some players that can step in with some head on their shoulders and know how to make decisions with the ball.
Yeah.
And Seager was just one of those young players that was coming up that can make that. But like I said, you lean on veterans like Utley that could hopefully step up if he has to, or Taylor. So we'll see. I think the Dodgers are going to be okay, but it's a tough break for this young kid and for this team.
Yeah. The issue that I have with Corey with this injury first is Tommy John surgery for shortstop. You have to have a strong arm because you have to gun it from shortstop basically every time you get the ball. So that is going to be definitely a learning curve for him. This is a very talented kid. All jokes aside, he's a great baseball player. There's no question about it. If you're a Giants fan, if you don't really know about baseball, Corey Seager is the real deal, and it sucks to see a star like that kind of go down. So, in all truthfulness, that is a tough injury to overcome for sure. There is a report that the Dodgers will actually go after Manny Machado. The issue that I see that happening is the issue that Machado had with wanting to come back with the Orioles this year was he did not want to play third base anymore. Now, he's won a Gold Glove at third base.
Right.
So, but his original position was shortstop, and he wanted to go back to shortstop. So what do the Orioles do? They move him to the shortstop position, and he's still fantastic. But if he goes to the Dodgers, they will get him, okay? He will play shortstop. Next year, Corey Seager will be back. How do you get Machado back to... Now, if you can sell him that, hey, we're winning, that's great. But the other issue is you got Justin Turner on the third base side too.
Yeah.
And this is a big deal because you're going to have Justin Turner next year. You're going to have Corey Seager. If they make a trade for Machado, they're only having him for 1 year.
Yep.
There is no doubt in my mind that Machado will go somewhere else. Are you willing to give up that much? I don't think the Dodgers will.
Right.
Because they have a lot of good prospects.
They do.
Now, this year so far is not going well. If it continues to go this way, they will not trade at all. They might trade a few players away, but the fact of the matter is, I don't see Machado going to the Dodgers, and I don't see the Dodgers making a play for Machado just because I don't think it makes sense for them.
Yeah.
Now, if they're all of a sudden they're getting really hot and it looks like they're going to go to the playoffs, then they might make that move just for this year. And then they'll be okay with him going, or they'll get rid of Justin Turner. They won't get rid of Seager at this point in time. So, and I don't think right now Seager is not worth anything because of this injury. So you can't really trade him away as it is.
Well, I think what an easy solution would be is if, let's say, Manny Machado does come over somehow by a trade with the Dodgers, which I don't know how the Dodgers can pull that off without giving away almost every asset that they have to the Orioles, which are going to be looking to rebuild, especially if they get rid of Machado. That's going to be very difficult. Yeah. But let's say that Machado does fill in at shortstop and you have him on a one-year rental, you convince him to re-sign. I think keeping him at shortstop would be a good idea, and I think you strategize and maybe find a way to get Corey Seager to go to outfield, maybe even right field, and I think you cut Yasiel Puig. That flash that he had about 3 years ago is kind of fading away. He's barely a minor league player for the Dodgers right now. I think you need to cut bait with him, let him figure things out on his own, part ways. I think you move Corey over to the right field. That way he's not having to make a lot of extreme throws. You can get him to be more of a pop-ups, and he won't have to play very much of the field, I guess you can say, or have to be super defensively, be a defensive player. So that's what I would assume, or that would make a lot of sense. That way you can keep both superstars. And heck, maybe find a way to, if you don't think that Corey Seager is going to be the future and you do get Machado, maybe package Seager to go with him if the Orioles want to take on that baggage, which I doubt. But that's a couple options I would think of. And I mean, the kid's only 24, and he bats 300 right now in his career. It's 302, of course, but batting 300 in a career like this is really hard to do. And as young as he is, to still maintain that, there's got to be a lot of potential left. Even after he comes back, I think you can find a way to put him in somewhere else in the field, and he'll be a great ball player. And you need his bat. Real quick, do you still think the Dodgers make the playoffs? Yes. I don't question that at all. Even with Seager, I know he's a good bat, but what's going to happen is Justin Turner's going to come back. He'll be rested when the league is kind of tired or going through that little the wall, I guess, or that exhaustion period. And I think that'll be a good way for him to get his legs up, and I think they'll be fine because he'll have his bat back in the lineup. And he's also known for not only power but getting on base, which Seager was more or less likely to do. He wasn't a home run guy; he was getting on base. So I do think that they'll be fine and they will still make the playoffs. Let me tell you guys. If you don't know how big of a deal that was, that he just said, yeah, he thinks they're still going to make the playoffs, and they're borderline last place in the NL West, that is amazing because this guy is so impatient. If you saw him on fantasy anything, this guy is... if the guy strikes out 3 times in the game, he's like, oh, no, he's off my team. Stanton, I'm dropping you today. 5 strikeouts ain't working for me, but... Yeah. So that's a big deal right there. I have no issue with saying it. The Dodgers, I feel like, are still going to make it because Justin Turner is coming back this year. He's not out for the year. Right. He will be coming back this year. Kershaw's been kind of roughed up, and it's not necessarily his fault. He has no offense right now. As you mentioned earlier, Puig is injured. Now Seager's down. They got a lot of injuries. Bellinger's not hitting how he used to. Yeah. Chris Taylor, after last year, is not hitting what he had done. Matt Kemp is actually kind of a surprise, honestly. He doesn't really get that many games in, but so I mean, I feel like the Dodgers do have stuff in place. They just have to overcome a lot right now, and I think this month you will see how they're going to start doing. So, watch it. Watch it. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Drew Code Sports Talk. Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which is Drew Code Sports Talk.
Models popping bottles.